And I get the point that walking while black is not illegal, like driving while black. The point is that it's all about divide and conquer so the bankers can sit back and manipulate us off against each other. Learn their moves. We are back live. It is hour number 2. The Billy Corrigan Smashing Pumpkins exclusive hour-long interview is going viral. It's up at Prisonplanet.tv. Of course, premiered a few days ago for Prisonplanet.tv viewers. It's now moved over to our YouTube channel for everybody else. You that are members, support it and pay it forward to everybody. Thank you. I've got a free 15-day trial going right now at Prisonplanet.tv. Explosive Billy Corrigan interview. The awakening has begun. Thursday, we're going to premiere here on the radio or on the nightly news. I'm not sure where yet. The big inside leak on Prometheus. So that's coming up Thursday because we can really educate people by looking at popular culture. It's like some people, a minority of them are like, how dare you say Hunger Games is a conspiracy theory? I'm not. I'm saying this is exactly what Agenda 21 says they want to set up. I mean, exactly. I mean, for over a decade, I've said compact super cities with elites in them with advanced technologies, extermination of 90+% of the population, some documents say only 80, living in rural squalor in rotting areas at subsistence level, with gladiatorial games and human sacrifice reintroduced as a political diversion to play different regions off against themselves. I mean, that's UN Biological Diversity Assessment, Club of Rome. I mean, I've got films that are 10 years old saying that, and now there's a book written, in 2008 that I never read, and there's a movie, and I'm looking at what they plan to set up. I mean, I'm just blown away here. And then these ignorant people are like, they're like 5%. You just got like 96% positive votes on the videos we've done on it. They're like, oh, come on, man, everything, that 5%. Look, I'm sorry I'm informed, okay? But I'm right. And if you haven't gone and read all these UN documents, and then you see a movie showing you in living high def what they're going to set up if they're successful. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. And I know True Strangers in Fiction, but it's Buck Rogers. It's 2012. I mean, the head of the CIA 2 weeks ago says every appliance that's coming out now watches you and listens to you. And Google says, yeah, we're watching you and listening to you over your computer at home without permission. And everybody's like, wow, Alex has been saying that for a decade. Well, he isn't such a kook. It was all public. MIT was bragging. Press releases. Please, 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 please listen to me. The only way this stuff works is when you're not conscious of it, when you're not aware of it. It's a tiny group. They're trying to get this grid built. Look how fast stuff's changing now. 10 years ago, would you have ever believed the TSA would be on the highways now and sticking their hands down your pants? Did you ever believe they'd be shooting up school kids in California without parental consent with vaccines? Did you ever think they'd be announcing global government, global taxes, global carbon taxes, shutting down power plants, doubling, tripling water prices, robbing everybody, militarizing police, CIA threat fusion center command bases illegally operating, cancer rates 2,000-fold, pediatric cancer, 10,000%. I mean, it's all crazy. I know, because the elite are crazy. Who would have thought Caligula would marry his horse and make it consulate of Rome and start dancing around saying he was the most beautiful person in the universe? Who would have thought Hitler would have thought he was God and had SS people at black castles worshiping him? Who would have thought Pol Pot would kill everybody who could write and had glasses, 30% of the country? I mean, who would have thought Kim Jong-il would be in a 7-story pleasure palace having Asian film stars kidnapped so he could rape them to death in dungeons? I mean, who would have thought any of this? Who would have thunk it? But it's happening. It's real. It's here. And I just want my freedom. I never get sick of just good old-fashioned freedom, good old-fashioned life. I'm just satisfied with being normal. And I don't want a bunch of degenerate, crazy people running my life. Okay, coming up, we got Pastor Lindsey Williams joining us with some breaking news in the third hour. I will get into government-run health care as well. and the Supreme Court situation. It's all coming up. We've also got more and more captains, stewardesses going crazy. Oh, I was politically incorrect. I can be arrested under EU law. Flight attendants going crazy. It's Prozac, folks. They are allowing combat troops now to be on serotonin reuptake inhibitors that destroy the normal compulsion control, where people don't have their normal boundaries. And I'll bet you money this pilot was on some serotonin reuptake inhibitor, because they are in the psychotropic hallucinogen class. Most of the time, you're having a nice day in La La Land. But when things go wrong, compulsions, people just throw babies off balconies, women cut their kids' arms off, drive off cliffs with them in cars, shoot people. In 99% of the cases of really crazy behavior from people that weren't previously crazy, it ends up that people are on the psychotropics. We need to look into that with the Bales shooting and this situation with the screaming captain going crazy. So that's all coming up. We're going to go to Bob Fletcher here in a moment. I don't know why he hadn't been on my show in the 17 years I've been on air. And I said, have you ever been on the show? And he goes, no, we did touch base once and talk. And I asked him, when did you first wake up? And he said, 1985. I mean, this is a guy who helped wake me up like so many others, but still had never been on the show. And I used to watch him, in the early 90s about weather weapons and think, this guy, he covers some good stuff, but this can't be real. Turns out he was exactly right. We're going to cover the waterfront with him today, and he'll be back hopefully a lot in the future. First off, yesterday I had a guest on, pharmacist Ben Fuchs, and was ranting and raving about longevity products. The pollen burst with all the vitamins and minerals in it, the big mega doses of the vitamin B's and D's and all of it. The rebound, but the best is the tangy tangerine, the cell shield. This is incredible stuff. I've lost right at 40 pounds. It's not even weight loss stuff. It's that the soils are depleted, and that once you get enough vitamins and minerals, you're not as hungry anymore. My breakfast was just a tangy tangerine. The Mighty 90 vitamins and trace minerals. Boom, that's my breakfast. I'll eat a lunch. I'll eat a small dinner, have some more tangy tangerine before I go to bed. I'm not hungry. It's amazing. And it's not even advertised as weight loss. Incredible stuff for your skin, everything, energy, tangy tangerine, InfoWarsTeam.com. And, I take about half the dose, it says, every day. People are always asking me. For children, and read the insert, it's about a quarter of the dose. Just vitamins and minerals. And so it'll last you months, one canister. Available at InfoWarsTeam.com, and your purchase also supports the broadcast. And you can sign up there for like $10 and become a distributor. It's kind of like Costco. There's hundreds of great products there, all that have been approved by Dr. Wallach, who's a genius. So, again, InfoWarsTeam.com. Check it out today. Okay, going to our guest, Bob Fletcher, is a businessman, investigator, film producer, speaker, author, and all-around good guy. And I'm not going to go over his bio myself or even give you his website. I want him to do that, because I like to have guests on in their maiden visit with us to describe how they woke up. And he woke up running right smack dab into the CIA. I woke up when the police were dealing drugs in the town where I lived and busting people who had them later. And then I spoke out and they threatened to kill me. So that's how I found the rabbit hole. Bob Fletcher joins us for the balance of the hour. Bob, great to have you on with us today. Tell us about yourself and how you woke up.
Very good, and it's my pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me on. And again, it's strange. You and I missed each other all this time. It's my fault. I should have screamed at you, I guess, earlier, and we could have shared some airtime. As far as how I got started, it's absolutely mind-boggling, and I'm going to really have to abbreviate this. I love to tell the whole in-depth story, but it takes so long that then it cuts into everything else that we might want to cover. I had a toy manufacturing company in Atlanta, Georgia, and this is in the mid-'80s, 1983, 84, 85, that period of time. I manufactured puppets and unique little baseball hats with the everybody's seen them. Originally it was one of my ideas, and that was with the funny little animal faces on the front of them and all that stuff. And basically doing very well. We were expanding. I had a retail operation, and the toy is extraordinarily, my primary product was very, very unique, and we were selling them in giant numbers. I couldn't even keep up with it. And I ran into a guy in New York City at a giant marketing and merchandising show. And as in those shows where they have 35,000 buyers show up at these gigantic exposés, and I just gathering up business cards of people that were interested in buying my product. And basically I would just gather it up, write a little note on the back, and put the card down with full intent to get back to him later on when I got back to Atlanta. I contact this one number that I look at on the card once I get back to my factory, and I look at it and I said, well, this is my address. And I looked at it again, and I said, yes, this is my address. And then I looked at it more carefully, and I realized that it was a guy that had an operation 100 feet from me in the same manufacturing area. And I could hit it with a stone. So, wow, I thought that was pretty strange. Anyhow, to make that long part of this rather short, apparently I had been targeted by this guy, and I think primarily because the previous 5 years of my life, I had an international marketing company and had actually been partners with the ambassador. Actually, he was the consulate general for the country of Liberia, and we were doing business with West Africa, et cetera, et cetera. And that was a couple years prior to my toy company. So I found out much later that was the reason I was targeted. Now, when I say targeted, here's what took place. I merged my business with this guy. He owned 2 or 3 companies, a gigantic company, or I say gigantic, well, it's a large national company where he sold novelty watches to 7-Eleven stores and things of that sort. You know, talking $100,000 at a time kind of contracts. So that was pretty big. And he employed 100 people with that company. So I thought I'd kind of hit pay dirt. All of a sudden, I had this business partner with tons of money to do what I needed to do with my toy company. Well, the bottom line was this guy was a major covert supplier of weapons for the Central Intelligence operations worldwide. And that's his intent with my company and with the other company that he had, which was this watch company, was using them as covert fronts to be wherever he wanted to be. In my case, he had a full intention of moving and having myself function as a courier into Angola. That's where the African connection comes in. And needless to say, it blew me away. The first couple of months was great. The money was flowing. This guy was going to do television advertising with my toys and et cetera, et cetera. We were just going to go to the moon with what I was doing. However, when one day he said, we're going to have some visitors, I want you to meet them, they turned out to be General Heine Adderholt and General John Singlob, that people would meet a few years later in the Iran-Contra investigations. This guy was, by the way, his name, the covert operative's name is Gary Best, and his company was called Vista, and Vista International USA, and even changed the name of my company to Vista.
Long and short, why did you get out of it?
Well, in short, eventually after meeting generals and finding out about what was going on, or at least finding out partially what was going on, like I say, he wanted to bring me in to function as an international courier. The downside, he says, was that if you talk to the wrong guy, you're going to be killed. I thought that was kind of negative compared to the positives. Obviously,
you just wanted to sell toys above board in America and areas at subsistence level, with gladiatorial games and human sacrifice reintroduced as a political diversion to play different regions off against themselves. I mean, that's UN Biological Diversity Assessment, Club of Rome. I mean, I've got films that are 10 years old saying that, and now there's a book written, you know, in 2008 that I never read, and there's a movie, and I'm looking at what they plan to set up. I mean, I'm just blown away here. Because we can really educate people by looking at popular culture. It's like folks are, some people, a minority of them are like, how dare you say Hunger Games is a conspiracy theory? I'm not. I'm saying this is exactly what Agenda 21 says they want to set up. I mean, exactly. I mean, for over a decade, I've said compact super cities with elites in them with advanced technologies, extermination of 90+% of the population, some documents say only 80, living in rural squalor in rotting areas. And I get the point that walking while black is not illegal, like driving while black. The point is that it's all about divide and conquer so the bankers can sit back and manipulate us off against each other. Learn their moves. We are back live. It is hour number 2. The Billy Corrigan Smashing Pumpkins exclusive hour-long interview is going viral. It's up at Prisonplanet.tv. Of course, premiered a few days ago. And then these ignorant people are like, they're like 5%. You just got like 96% positive votes on the videos we've done on it. They're like, oh, come on, man, everything, that 5%. Look, I'm sorry I'm informed, okay? But I'm right. And if you haven't gone and read all these UN documents, and then you see a movie showing you in living high def what they're going to set up if they're successful. These people are crazy. For Prisonplanet.tv viewers, it's now moved over to our YouTube channel. For everybody else, you that are members, support it and pay it forward to everybody. Thank you. I've got a free 15-day trial going right now at Prisonplanet.tv. Explosive Billy Corgan interview. The awakening has begun. Thursday, we're going to premiere here on the radio or on the nightly news. I'm not sure where yet. The big inside leak on Prometheus. So that's coming up Thursday.